I think it'd be great if there were more women in positions of power in hockey. Representation does matter. It's easy to say that hockey's for everyone, but when it's the same 40 white men who are being recycled through these positions, it's hard to, feel like that statement is true.
Nikki, you did something recently that I was super proud of you for, and I think, is important, and not only for the hockey world, but also for you individually. You shared your sexuality with everyone, and I want to congratulate you.
Thank you. It's funny, what I shared. It was easier for me to share it that way than it's ever been to, I think, verbally say it. It felt like a good time to do that, and it felt nice to finally get that out there. And obviously everybody was super cool about it and supportive. I think why I hesitated for so long to even say it or bring it up was, my own internal kind of conflict and feelings about it. Seen as, I've never been in a serious relationship with a woman. So, there was instances where I'm like, I feel like a fraud sometimes because how can I say this? But having talked with, some people who are, who felt similar, I felt encouraged to kind of come out with that. So I'm glad that I did. It feels nice. It's like a weight has been lifted.
And I've had people come to me who are in a similar position as you were and haven't shared because they do feel like a fraud. And I try to tell them, like, this is your identity, and don't deny yourself that because of you're who you've dated or been in long-term relationships with. Fuck that. This is who you are, and you deserve to be celebrated for who you are.
Thank you. It's fun. It feels great to kind of have that finally out there.
So now that we have said we're going to celebrate who you are, why don't you tell everyone who you are?
Oh, wow. Such a loaded question. Well, I'm Nikki. I've been a huge hockey fan since I was 8. Hockey, I kind of got brought into that from my mom. My mom was a big Maple Leafs fan growing up, so we spent our Saturday nights watching.
For her.
Oh, I know. she's not that invested in them anymore, but yeah, we would watch Hockey Night in Canada with each other every Saturday, and that's how I became a Canucks fan. We watched the '94 Cup run, so I was brought into my hockey fandom on Sadness, and it's been the same ever since.
Yeah, so that was passed down through the generations, different teams, but same result.
Yeah. We just know Sadness, that's it. What else about me? I'm a huge Drag Race fan. I think that my goal eventually is to see an intersection of hockey and Drag Race at some point somewhere. I don't know how that would look, but I need those two worlds.
Isn't that kind of me?
Well, yes, but I need more of you. I need more of that.
I sat down with John Lee Olsen today, and John is a gay professional goalie in Denmark.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't know this, but John is a huge Drag Race fan. So we were talking, awesome. Yeah. So we were talking about having a charity. I want to do a charity hockey game. It's all drag queens.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I would buy tickets to that.
Buy tickets. You can officiate it or something. You can be the ref.
Okay. I'm in.
So you kind of answered this, but how did Nikki get into hockey?
Yeah, it was mostly my mom.
Yeah.
Just watching hockey with her. Also, the neighborhood kids were a huge part of it. Growing up, we lived in a cul-de-sac, so kids were outside all the time playing street hockey, and arguing over who got to be Pavel Bure and who got to be Kirk McLean. So it kind of just like was around me always. It was hard to ignore, but I fell in love with it right away. And yeah.
That's awesome. What do you love about it?
I love it just because of the like competitive nature, the skill involved, the kind of like basics of hockey, just like how the game is played, and everything else about it, the politics of it and everything else. It's kind of, it's made it hard to continue being a fan, but but the athletic component of hockey is what I enjoy about it, because being a previous athlete, I used to be in athletics, so that really, I appreciate how much work and effort goes into what they do.
Yeah, I think I really resonate with that answer, because I know for me personally, like I have a hard time watching hockey, knowing everything I know about the culture and the internal workings of it. It makes it difficult for me to sit down and actually give a shit.
It does, and it's like those things that, like, I used to be that person that celebrated that warrior mentality and was like, oh, they got hit in the face with a puck but they're out the next shift, that's so awesome. And that has completely shifted that mindset for me. Like now when that kind of stuff happens, I'm thinking about them, I'm thinking about their families, I'm thinking about the long-term effects of it. It's no longer enjoyable for me. It's like I feel deep feelings about it, and it's concern more than anything. Yeah, so it's been hard lately.
So how could hockey be better for you and for the queer community in general?
For myself, I think it'd be great if there were more women in positions of power in hockey. Representation does matter. It's easy to say that hockey's for everyone, but when it's the same 40 white men who are being recycled through these positions, it's hard to feel like that statement is true. Yeah, I would like to see women in those positions, women of color. I know Sportsnet has like started to have, they've got Jennifer Botterill and they've got Cassie Campbell Pascal on their panels, but it's not diverse enough. Like there needs to be Black women, women of color. That's what I want to see. I want to see more women in hockey, like in the NHL, and see the difference that makes. The Seattle Kraken have already, I like them for what they're doing. They're making sure that they're highlighting, women in sports. So I think hockey needs to do more of what they're doing.
Yeah, and the intersectionality of identities, right? And not just having like, it's great to see women, but when it's solely white women, it doesn't shift the culture.
No, I think it's still safe. Like it's still, the people who are, screaming about how we don't need to change anything, that still makes them feel safe in it. And it would be a nice change of pace, for everybody else, the queer community, to feel like they're included. And, it's hard to feel like you're included when you don't see yourself in any aspect of the game.
100%. So knowing all that, what keeps you here? What keeps you in hockey?
The players. Hockey, so the players, getting to like know them on a like human level, personal level, what their lives are like, their kids, their dogs. I think humanizing them has really helped me enjoy the game a bit more, just because you're like, you can relate to them as a person, not just an athlete who's 6'2", 200 some odd pounds, right? Also, hockey Twitter is a huge thing that keeps me around. It's way more entertaining than the games most times, and it's an awesome community, welcoming community, and yeah, that's kind of what keeps me around.
I really like that, because I don't think enough people recognize that these players are human beings. And I think community is so important, and the online community has been a place where we see far more diverse people than in the sport itself.
For sure.
What gives you hope for queer people in the sport?
What gives me hope is that we're seeing some shifts. You know, people are being more vocal now about what they want to see, what should change in the game, what's not acceptable anymore. And, you know, the change may not happen as quickly as we would like it to, but I'm confident that, you know, the young fans now who are coming up into hockey and the way that they want to view hockey and what they want to see, I think that they'll be loud enough and they'll be able to make the changes that are necessary.
Yeah, I've interviewed I interviewed a 17-year-old today.
Oh.
And he's the captain of his minor hockey team. And just seeing that and seeing him there and speaking out and being so openly himself, like that's hope, right?
That is hope. And that's the thing, like kids coming up through the system now, I feel confident in saying that there will be, I don't think it'll be a large majority, but I feel like there will be some, you know, who stand up and say, you know, the right thing when they need to be said. And I think that, you know, 10, 20 years down the road, I think we'll see a different culture in hockey, the NHL specifically.
100%. Nikki, is there anything else you want to add?
Not that I can think of.
No, I think you covered a lot. I think it was really good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for living your truth and being your authentic self and sharing it with all of us. I'm really grateful that you did.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that I did too. It feels good.